Are you familiar with the Egyptian gods? While not as well known as the Greek or Nordic gods, they possess their own unique appeal and strength. But have you ever wondered about their true level of power? Today, we will be exploring the undisclosed powers of the Egyptian gods, including Osiris, Isis, Horus, Seth, Thoth, Ra, Apophis, and Anubis. These gods possess some incredible abilities, from the ability to destroy the universe to the power to make enemies explode into pieces. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of the Egyptian gods and uncover their hidden strengths. You won't want to miss this. Though perhaps not as well known as their Greek or Nordic counterparts, the Egyptian deities possess their own alluring qualities and strengths. Now, if you're curious about their true levels of power, let me take you on a journey and provide an overview of the main players. Brace yourself to meet the ruler of the underworld, Osiris and his wife Isis along with their son Horus, Osiris' brother Seth, the messenger of Ra, Thoth, and the chief deity himself, Ra. It's important to note that these are not the only Egyptian gods, as there were over 2,000 deities in their mythology. However, the ones mentioned above are the most significant. Additionally, in this discussion, I will also touch upon Apophis, the ultimate antagonist in Egyptian mythology, and Anubis, the most well-known of all Egyptian gods. Before diving into their powers, it's worth briefly mentioning their appearance. The Egyptian gods were typically depicted as humanoid figures with animal heads. Furthermore, the most important deities were believed to possess golden skin, blue hair made of lapis lazuli, and bones colored silver and iron. Exceptions to the general physical description of the Egyptian gods were Osiris, who was commonly depicted with green skin, and Seth, who was believed to have red skin. They were also notably tall, about 4 meters in height, though there are some minor descriptions of individual characteristics, such as Thoth having wings and Ra having a beard. In terms of powers, all Egyptian gods have the ability to transform into anything they desire. However, it is unclear whether they can transform into other objects or beings. They also possess supernatural strength, though the extent of their power is uncertain. Unlike being immortal, the gods can age and die, but they are incredibly resilient. For instance, Isis survived being decapitated by her son Horus. Now, to determine the gods' power level, we must scale them based on a specific feat. One notable event to consider is the Big Bang. During the time before time, known as Septepi, the sun god Ra created the universe with ease, placing him at the same power level as the Big Bang. This power level is far beyond that of stars or constellations, which doesn't do justice to the immense power of the Egyptian gods. Our starting point is universal. We'll begin discussing each god in the order they were introduced. Let's start with Osiris, who is often linked with Ra, portraying them as two sides of the same coin. As a result, Osiris possesses a similar level of power to Ra, and is therefore considered universal in strength. This is supported by Osiris himself, stating that no one in Egyptian heaven can challenge his power. However, it is worth noting that making Osiris this strong could lead to a logical inconsistency when discussing Ra. Mythology isn't always consistent, as cultures aren't concerned with power levels. Our discussion is purely for entertainment purposes, and ancient Egyptians would likely disapprove of our focus on power levels, as the message is what truly matters. With that said, let's continue discussing their powers. Moving on to Isis. Isis's strength is comparable to that of Osiris, indicating that she too possesses the capability to destroy the universe. She is so powerful that she can even harm her own son, Horus, by severing his hands. Speaking of Horus, he is a mighty deity, more than just the combination of Isis and Osiris. Before his birth, he absorbed an undefined amount of power from all the Egyptian gods, rendering him incredibly potent. It is said that Horus is incredibly strong, to the point where all other Egyptian gods, except for Ra, fear him. However, his most potent ability is a spell known as the Chaplet of Victory. This spell grants Horus the power to make his enemies explode into pieces, and once cast, it cannot fail. The only weakness of this spell is that it requires the incantation to be set 4 times in a row, which is a lengthy process, and not feasible during combat. However, as long as Horus considers someone an enemy, he can cast this spell from afar. Seth, the brother of Osiris, is renowned for his immense strength and is capable of fighting Horus for 80 years. Although These are daily conflicts rather than continuous battles. Evidence supports this claim, as Seth and Horus once transformed into hippopotamuses and fought for 3 months straight. Even after being struck by the Chaplet of Victory and exploding into pieces, Seth survives and continues to fight Horus. Seth is so powerful that he can battle Horus on equal footing, even though Horus has a portion of his strength, which he gained from all the gods, including Seth. Thoth enters the scene at this point, as Horus and Seth are engaged in a bitter conflict over Seth's murder of Osiris, and Horus's desire for revenge against Seth. Ra, wary of their constant fighting, dispatches Thoth to intervene. Thoth descends from Egyptian heaven, halts the fighting, and brings both combatants to Egyptian heaven. Although Thoth possesses significant power, he pales in comparison to Ra, who not only created the universe, but also recreated several immensely powerful deities. For instance, there is Shu, the embodiment of air, who represents the metaphorical breath of life. Ra has access to everything associated with Shu, granting him knowledge of nearly every occurrence in the universe. Ra is more powerful than all of the Egyptian gods combined, including his father, Nos, who acknowledges Ra's superiority. Ra is so dominant that he claims he could single-handedly defeat all of Egyptian heaven. Interestingly, the story doesn't end here. It could be argued that Ra created Sia and Heka, who embody knowledge and power respectively. The question is, how much knowledge and power is needed to create all knowledge and power? Some argue that one must know everything and be omnipotent. Sora may possess 2 out of the 3 omnitraits, but Ra's supposed omniscience and omnipotence are called into question. If Ra is all-knowing, why does he need Shu to gather knowledge? If Ra is all-powerful, why does he struggle with Apophis? Even without these traits, Ra is still extremely powerful and knowledgeable. Despite his immense power, Ra is fated to die at the hands of Apophis, the ultimate boss in Egyptian mythology. Every night, Apophis battles against millions of powerful gods, including Ra. This chaotic monster even attacks Ra during the day, causing eclipses. The Egyptians certainly had a unique perspective on these natural phenomena. Lastly, it should be noted that Apophis is not a mindless creature, but rather a sentient being capable of communication. With that covered, let's move on to Anubis. You may be wondering why I saved him for last. Is it because he is the most powerful? The answer is no. While Anubis is the most well-known of the Egyptian gods, ironically, he is not particularly significant in mythology. In ancient Egyptian belief, the afterlife was considered an essential part of an individual's existence. According to their beliefs, after death, the soul journeyed to the Duat, a mystical realm that was the gateway to the afterlife. The Duat was believed to be the realm of spirits and gods, and it was where the soul would be judged for its deeds during its earthly existence. The judgment process in the Duat was a crucial moment for the deceased soul, as it determined whether they were worthy of entering paradise or would be devoured by the monstrous Amit, which was part lion, hippopotamus, and crocodile. In this process, the soul's heart was weighed against the feather of Ma'at, the goddess of truth and justice on a scale by Anubis, the god of mummification and the afterlife. If the heart weighed more than the feather, it indicated that the soul was heavy with sins and impurities and would be condemned to eternal punishment. However, if the heart was lighter than the feather, the soul would be deemed pure and just and granted entry into paradise. Despite Anubis's crucial role in the judgment process, he was not considered a prominent figure in Egyptian mythology. Anubis was often depicted as a jackal-headed deity, symbolizing his association with embalming and preserving the dead. Although he was not as prominent as other deities, such as Osiris or Ra, Anubis played an essential role in the afterlife and was highly respected by the ancient Egyptians. In addition to his role in the judgment process, Anubis was also believed to be a protector of tombs and the dead, and his image was often placed on funerary objects to ensure the safe passage of the deceased into the afterlife. We've reached the end of our journey through the world of Egyptian gods, and I hope you enjoyed learning about their undisclosed powers. From Osiris and Isis's ability to destroy the universe, to Horus's spell that makes enemies explode into pieces. The Egyptian gods are a force to be reckoned with. We've explored their physical appearance, their powers, and even their weaknesses, like Ra's ultimate fate at the hands of Apophis. Although these gods may not be as well known as others, they possess their own distinct appeal and strength that's worth exploring. While we've only scratched the surface of the over 2,000 deities in Egyptian mythology, we've highlighted the most significant and powerful ones. We hope you've learned something new and that you were entertained along the way. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.